Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Carla here. It is the Tuesday after the Waffle Weekend sale. And I thought instead of doing like a drum carding demo, I was actually wanting to spin. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to do a spinning demo. Hi, Carolyn. Do a spinning demo and then let's see here. Move that. I might need to put my glasses on so I can read these comments. Hey. Oh, whoops, let's clean this off. You missed my show? Um, it was, hi, Kim. The show was great. I always have so much fun with everyone. It's the highlight of my month. It's like, I just have a ton of fun doing it. And I love watching all the other vendors and everything and seeing what everybody else has, different things that they're coming up with. And so it's always a good time. The nice thing is that there's the videos. Usually, I keep mine on my page. Hi, Mary. Can you guys hear me okay? I always say that, don't I? Can you guys hear me? Yeah, so anyways, I always keep the video on my page, and I think the other vendors too do too, and actually on Wafa Hygiene, on Wafa, I think those videos stay in the media section too. I'm not exactly sure. Sounds good, Heather? Awesome. Thank you, Carolyn. Um, yeah. So anyhow, what I decided to do today, I had carded up those bamboo, or not, I always want to say merino because I'm stuck on, I always do the merino bamboo dyed braids, but I had done the Corriedale bamboo bats carded up a 50-50. And I know that bamboo can be a little tricky when you go to spin it sometimes, just because of the nature of the fiber itself. But anyhow, I pulled one because there was a bat that hadn't sold during the sale. And this was I don't know what bat this was, bat number 10. And it was a color I wasn't sure, you either like pastel or pinky colors, or maybe you don't. It just all depends. I kind of like them. I particularly like this color of the bamboo. And I want to say that it's like pink, but technically I'm going to say it's more like like coral, like a coral type pink, because I'm looking at it. If I'm looking at it right here on the iPad, the color looks brighter and true to life. But when I'm looking at it on my laptop over there, so I can see the other comments, it also it has like a weird washed out look. So I don't know. We'll see. But anyhow, yeah. So I pulled this and I wanted to spin it. And what I decided I was going to do was get an avalanche going here. Is spin it into some thick and thins, and then do some coils and bobbles. I don't know if I've spun any big enough chunks that are like that, but I thought I had shown it a few months ago, back in January, I think, when I first started doing some demos. But anyhow, I was just going to show you how I spun this particular yarn. So now that I am looking at it, I think I need to spin my thick part thicker, but we'll see. But this is basically just a thick and thin. It's a bat that was carded. This is like some silk or bamboo. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. Is it for sale? Yeah, Carolyn, all of my yarn's for sale. I usually just sell it at the Fiber Festival. I usually only do one festival, and that's Oregon Flock and Fiber. Excuse me. I just ate like a peanut butter, what's it called? Nature Valley bar. But yeah, it is for sale. I really need to do better by getting things listed up on my website. But yeah, so I do have a lot of yarn. I have a ton of it. This whole shelf here, all the way down, there's like 3 or 4 things. It's all full of yarn, hand spun yarn. And I just spin it, put it back there, and stock it up. So anyways, yeah, so I'll get with you on that. And when I ever, maybe as time slows down, which I don't think it's ever going to slow down, as I get better at managing time, then I'll be able to list some, because I really need to do some work on my website. So anyhow, I'm going to spin this lock spun. Yes, I do have lock spun, which is not, well, I did, I think I do have some down in my stash. But this was lock spun mohair. So this is actually a mohair, and then this is a core spun that I had wove into this scarf. So that's another little demo maybe we should do. Oh, Jean, do you work on websites? We should talk. We should talk for sure. Uh, but yeah, so I probably have some down below. If not, I have plenty of yarn, or not yarn, but locks that are good for that. You know, I have BFL, I've got a ton of mohair, things like that. So anyhow, well, I don't know. So has anybody been doing any of the thick and thin since let's see, when did I do the last demo? Back in January. It's one of, just for fun, that would be awesome, Jean. I don't, you know, my website is hosted on Shopify, but I'm actually thinking the prices for Shopify just went up for their web hosting. And yeah, it was quite a jump. So anyways, I'm going to move it over to Wix, I think, which is a bit more affordable. And it's where I had the fat fiber thing hosted. But you never know what to do with it once you're done. Okay, Heather. Well, you can do anything with it, but we'll go into that too. There's bunches of different stuff you could do with it. If you're a crocheter or a knitter, I mean, you just need to use bigger needles, and you can do, if you've done 4 ounces, or a little over is usually enough for, like, did you see those fingerless gloves that I knit? Those, or had crocheted. Those were done with thick and thin. And I think Abby had just done a set of those where she did thick and thin, spun from the video, and then she did that too. I'm speaking a foreign language. Okay. And it's supposed to be fairly easy if you get stalled. Okay, thank you, Jennifer. I will. Yeah, I had worked on Wix before, and it wasn't too bad, but yeah. So anyway, so back to the thick and thin and stuff. Yeah, there's tons of stuff you can do with it. Or if you just like to spin, you can be like me and then just let the yarn pile up. And then one day it'll spark. You'll go, oh, hey, I think that I want to make this or that or whatever. Also get on, like, you can get on, I mean, anything. If you get on like Pinterest or maybe even, I don't know, TikTok too, probably Instagram, any of those things. And if you just search for it. Hi, Chelsea. Oh, you're in a meeting. Okay. If you search for art yarn projects, there's, art yarn, say projects, say knitting or crochet, you could probably find quite a few things. And weaving is great for weaving. I have that little loom back here. This is the Ashford Sample It loom. I think it's 10, it might be the 10-inch one, but it's great for doing scarves. So this was a scarf. I don't want to pull it off completely. This is actually done with thick and thin yarn, and the thick and thin is merino bamboo. Actually, this is all merino bamboo, but it was, this is what I wove, this yarn here. And then this was the warp. And this was a single ply that I had spun. So I was gentle with it though, because it's some, hand spun. My hand spun anyways is not as strong as regular yarn. But yeah, it made a great scarf. These are great gifts. You could get a loom and make scarves for everybody. Yeah, it's definitely fun to weave with. So, and it looks really neat. It gives it like these, little baubles. And this wasn't like a real drastic thick and thin. It was just kind of a mellow little thick and thin. And I did go back and ply it some because I wanted it to be a little bit stronger. So I plied it with just a regular merino yarn. So that was fun. And then I wove it in because I didn't want it to tear or split in any places. And I think I steamed it. I always steam all my yarn. I never soak it. Even with, sometimes if I do just a single or a 2-ply, I will soak it. in, you know, the warm hot water or whatever, and then, you know, kind of give it a good stretch or something to let it dry out. Those circles keep showing up in my glasses. But for the most part, I steam it. I bought a little handheld steamer, and what I do is I actually just put it on a yeah, Carolyn, I'll reach out to you. I put it on a hanger, like I have the plastic hanger, so I'll hang the yarn on that, and then I'll hang another one on the bottom, and I do it over the shower, so then if there's any moisture. But yeah, you just buy a little handheld steamer, throw some water in it, turn it on. When the steam starts coming, then I just go up to my yarn. If this is my yarn, then I just go and just bring it down, and I make sure that I hit every side, and I turn it, and then move it a little bit and do it again. And so steaming it that way, it sets the yarn really well. It's cool because you can actually see some of the fiber will kind of like either shrink up. And so you know that the steam's getting there to hold it. It'll kind of shrink and pop, and it just makes it everything more defined. All of these, it'll just make it all more defined. So it's a lot of fun. But anyway, so I'll turn the camera down on the wheel and do some thick and thin. Like I said, the merino or the bamboo in this is kind of tricky because it's 50% bamboo, and it's a little slippery. And but I'll talk through it, and we'll go through it. We'll see how it comes out. So let me get the camera turned down. I'm gonna have to pull my laptop closer too, so I can see the comments. But if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out or type them in, and if I should be able to see them, so I'll reach out to you. Let's see if we can get this where it needs to be. This might be a good angle. From what I can see, looks pretty good. So, oh, and you know what? Well, I don't know. My hands are so dry when I'm spinning, especially when I'm spinning, I use a ton of hand lotion. My hands are so dry, but I'm constantly washing them all the time anyways. I did that before, just when I was in the medical field, because I'm always washing my hands, so they're always so dry. But yeah, I have to do that before I spin, especially with a fiber like the bamboo, which is kind of flyaway. But so what I did with the bat, this will be half of it, but I pulled it apart in strips, and then I did a little bit of pre-drafting with it, just because the bamboo is just, it can be tricky. It can be finicky. Like, let me pull this out. Like this. So it gets a little wispy like. And so sometimes if I have lotion on my hands, I'll kind of just tame it down a little bit. Actually, I want to spin this a little bit more, because once I go back and ply this, I want to spin it so it has a little extra twist on it. So we'll get that in there. Thick and thin is just the easiest. Well, I don't want to say easiest. It is the first thing that I've learned with anything to do with art yarn, because it seems to be a good base for it. Your thick and thin can be your base for plying big coils. It's your base for doing, see how that goes, the bamboo. It's your base yarn that you would want to do if you were doing beehives. So it's kind of one of those things that would be your best to start out with first off to learn. So with the bamboo, I do have to kind of smooth it down, which is not a big deal. I like it. I have a big love for bamboo. But you can see how it is kind of like a barber pole. So you've got the Corriedale and then the bamboo. I usually get into a rhythm of it. So it'll be like, you know, every so many inches or so many. I think it's more like I go by pedaling my feet, or the treadling, to give me an idea. And then it's a little wonky there, but I'll give it a little extra twist. And like I said, this one I do want to give a little extra twist, because I'm going to when I'm done with it, I'm going to take it off, and I will be, I'm going to be, let me see if I can do that. Sorry. My camera or my computer keeps kind of blinking off. I am going to be plying it. So I don't want to let it go through the orifice too loose. I want to make sure it's got some extra kink in it or extra twist. So I'll show you, I need to add some more to it. What I did was pulled off, open the bat up. So these bats that come off of the carder, if you guys haven't had one, they are pretty long. I don't know. Let's see. I got a tape measure here. I think basically the bats come off of there about 39 inches long. So it's a long bat. And I'm going to pull off a bigger piece because I'm going to see if I can do some bigger, thick and thin pieces. So I'll pull it off, and then I've got a piece that's like this. So technically I could probably split it in two again, but I think what I will do with this one is kind of draft it. Just go ahead and do this big one, see what happens. We'll draft it. Drafting with the bamboo, get my knee up here, will help get the kinks, it's not kinks, it'll help kind of spread it out a bit. So not a lot of drafting, but just enough to kind of smooth it out. Oh yeah, you know the hand the hand lotion thing. I'm just now seeing you guys' comments. I've been using hand lotion from day one spinning because I don't know if you guys have ever tried to. Okay, so if your hands are dry and you try to spin something like silk or something like the bamboo or whatever, I mean, it's awful. It's uncomfortable. Everything sticks to you. It's like sticking your hand in a cobweb. And so I can tell you that I have been using lotion on my hands, and I use a really thick hand cream. I used to use Bath and Body. Bath and Body used to have this hand cream that came in like a round circle container, and I used to use the wild. It's not wild cherry. What is it? Cherry blossoms, because that one, oh my god, that smelled so good. So I used that for a long time. I also use a lot of moisture therapy in the lotion in the tube from Avon. That's a really thick cream, and that one's kind of greasy. But I've not found that lotions ever bothered my or ever affected the fiber in any way. When I do the soak or whatever, then I've never noticed a problem with it at all. The this one, I'll tell you guys about this one because I love this. This is a Camille Beckman, and it's their glycerin hand therapy, and it's a super thick cream. Let me show you. So it's thick like that, and it's awesome. This is, I don't know what fragrance this is. This is like one of their like a little special one, so they don't always have it. But their hand therapy in the vanilla smells like vanilla frosting. And it smells so good that when I put it on my hands, it makes me feel like I was eating vanilla frosting right out of the container. So you're gonna try. Oh, good, Carolyn. Yeah, it'll be fun. This is a good bat for it. Otherwise, I mean, you can spin this in any way, but I do like this kind of yarn. And I can tell you, most of the, when I go to a festival to sell yarn, there aren't really a lot of, vendors that have it available for sale. And I don't know what that is or why that is. It might be because a lot of dye. I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning is, but yeah, I've been lucky. I've done really well with my fibers. I'm having an issue here with some of this bamboo. I'm just going to put this back up. Or my yarns, I'm sorry. I'm always kind of a little, out of it after the sale weekend. Just because I've been so busy. I was printing off labels today, so I do think that I'm going to be able to get the packages out today. I can get to the post office. Now this is basically just bamboo here, so I might have to just kind of spin this as kind of a single. Let's bring this back up. The fun thing about bats is that you can pull them apart and add them back together in any way. If you're Mary, if the thin part is getting thin to where it's breaking, like when you're spinning it, put more twist in it and loosen up your tension on your wheel. Just give it more twist, because you can see if I pull this back, see how that kinks up? Normally you wouldn't want your singles, if you were spinning a single, you wouldn't want it to be like that. I don't think that much of a kink or a twist into it. But with a thick and thin, you can put more twist in that. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to ply this. So especially if you're plying it, put extra twist in it. If you're not going to ply it, maybe just slow down when you're spinning it and give it just a little extra twist and go slower. With this kind of yarn, you can go slow when you're spinning, and that's okay. Oh, what kind of project is it, Carolyn? A big one with the yarn? Is it like a weaving or something, or? I see, I like how that looks. So you look at that and you go, oh, that's not too big of a thick and thin. But if you imagine that coiled, when I'm going to coil it, it's going to look like that. It'll be awesome. This color matches my shoes. I don't know if you can see my shoes. These are my moccasins from Minnetonka. I love their moccasins. But yeah, the lotion helps smooth flyaway yarns. And for me personally, I've never had a problem with it causing any issue with the yarn as far as leaving like, a greasy spot or anything on it. I've never had a problem with that. That doesn't mean that other people haven't, but just in my experience, I haven't. So we've only got one more. This one, I'm going to pull this one apart. You'll actually be surprised at how fast you go through your fiber too when you're spinning. Yeah. Oh, it's a secret. Okay, Carolyn. Yeah. I love these because they have the rubber heel. I don't know why Minnetonka always has these little rubber dot thingies on them, little grippers, but they're good. I've got some. Oh my God, I probably got 4 or 5 pairs of them, but I put my boot type ones away, and now I can't really find them. I I move stuff around and then I can't find things. But so I'm wearing these. I've also got some beige ones, but like I said, I don't know where they are, so I have to find them. I pretty much in the summer, I wear my Birkenstocks all the time. I love Birkenstocks, and so I'll wear those in the summer, and then when winter rolls around, it's usually so cold and wet here in Oregon that I wear like boots, like not Uggs, but like winter type boots. Oh, you've got a pair from high school. Oh, wow. In 83, you know, yeah. I graduated high school in 85, and I had a pair of moccasins. I had a pair of these, but they were the white leather ones that had like the beading on the top. Um, and I don't have those anymore. And I remember loving them a lot, but I remember them not being very comfortable too much. I think because I would wear them without socks, and it was like the thicker, the regular leather. But these are suede leather, and the suede leather, holy moly, they're so soft. They're not too terribly expensive, and I can tell you, if anybody's thinking about them, they last a long time. Oh, with the leather bottoms. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have any. I wanted some of those. I don't know why I didn't get any. Probably because my mom wouldn't buy them for me or something. And then I was too cheap to buy them for myself. I don't know. But in high school I wore tennis shoes a lot. But like you won't even I don't even own a pair of tennis shoes anymore. I might have one pair somewhere when I thought I was going to exercise like on a treadmill or something, but no way. Now I just wear these kind of shoes, and I'm like, you know what? I don't. I guess my style of clothes that I wear is just kind of whatever rolls with it. I guess I don't know. My One of my boys came over last night, and he's like, "Mom, what kind of Mary Poppins type shoes are you got on?" And I was like, "Quinn, these aren't Mary Poppins type shoes. Like these are comfortable shoes." So he was just teasing me. He knows better because I always wear whatever kind of shoes are comfortable. But that started though too, like after when I was pregnant with my last kid, like, he's 20 something years old now, my youngest. Um, I started developing arthritis in my feet. It is a sign of age. Yeah, I ended up with this weird situation in my feet that I don't know if it was like an immune system thing or what, but I started developing arthritis in um, my toes, like my feet. And so I couldn't wear any kind of a shoe that was tight. So I had to wear loose shoes. And so from there, it's gotten better over time. But yeah, I go for comfort and definitely age. I'm like, you know what? I don't dress to impress anybody else. I try to make my clothes match, but I do go for comfort. That's for sure. So this will come out pretty cool. I'm going to have some kind of wild yarn. I'm not doing a lot of coils here. I'm running into a section where I've got a lot of bamboo. So I don't know. Has anybody spun just bamboo? Like with nothing else in it? I might try that. I'm trying to think if I did, maybe a long time ago, but I'm not so sure I have. You say bamboo is supposed to be good for summer wear. Oh, you grip with your toes. You know what? I think that's what I do with mine. I think that's what it was. That was probably part of it. The doctors couldn't tell me anything about what was wrong. They drew blood, x-rays, all kinds of stuff. And they're like, well, x-rays, all kinds of stuff. And they're like, well, I guess it's arthritis or whatever. So then I went on a quest to ask everyone in my family, all my relatives, because I'm like, why Does anybody else have this problem? It's so weird. Like people don't normally they get arthritis in their, in your hands, right? You get it in your hands, and doctors say like in your ankles, but like on your, like I'm talking like, is it too much information? Like the joints of my toes, and it's just one foot. It's not the other foot, so it's the weirdest thing. So yeah, I'm messaging all my family on Facebook and saying, "Hey, do you guys have anybody have this problem?" And they're like, "No, no, no." So whatever. It doesn't surprise me because I seem to be the one that, like, if a medication says a rare side effect, I'll get that rare side effect. Yeah, I think most of us are pretty down to earth. You're saving some, Samantha, for challenge days on Tour de Fleece. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do Tour de Fleece. I might not. The other thing is the Spin Together. I participated in Spin Together, but I don't know if I'm going to do that either. We'll see. Oh, good, Chelsea. I'm glad. Well, watching spinning is kind of like meditative, right? But look, if you spin just bamboo, wouldn't that be pretty? I was thinking, I didn't know what I was going to ply this with because I have like some acrylic that I found, which I think probably is enough to do the plies and the coils. But then I found this sweater that I was working on out of this. This is a commercial bamboo that I bought. And I thought that it would match, but now that I'm looking at it on screen, it doesn't look like it's a very good match. But I thought if I had plied it, let's see here. Actually, I don't know. That might look pretty good. I might going to do it. Yeah, you know what, Carolyn? I think I can. I think I can pull this off of the wheel real quick and go ahead and ply it because I've only been on for half an hour. That's not too terribly long. But I'll show you what I do. After I've spun it, or technically with this country wheel, anytime I've spun anything, unless I'm done with the yarn, I don't nitty-knotty it. I just wind it right off. So yeah, if you can, thick and thins are probably the fastest you'll ever spin a 4-ounce braid or a 4-ounce bat. Or it is for me anyways. That's why I've always tell people it's easier to practice this too with a less expensive fiber, like the Cheviot that I used to sell, or sometimes you can find, sometimes people, what else is less expensive? Maybe it all depends. I don't know. I don't want to say because everybody's prices are different. But for me, it would be like Cheviot or it would have been Corriedale. And those fibers too actually have a really good texture to them. Like the way the fiber is, it has they're grabby. And so it's easier. You won't lose control of the fiber. Yeah. I don't know what it is. What is your guys' favorite fiber? Like, do you have a favorite wool that you like to work with? I need to branch out a little bit, but I don't know. I'm kind of like the person that if I like something, even if I like to eat, sometimes I'll be like, oh, this week I'm just the only fruit I'll eat is oranges, so I'll just eat oranges or something weird and quirky. So like I love merino bamboo, so I've just been spinning that forever. But all right, my Old Faithful wheel here. Looking at her online, I could see that it could use a good sanding and some care to it. Maybe this summer we'll do that. So let's see here. I'm going to try this. Why not? Because I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to push all of this up into like coils. Linen and merino. Shetland. Shetland's really good. Shetland is good though. Shetland's a good one to work with. When I go to ply this, I just bring my 2 pieces together and then on my leader. Now I know it's probably, for sake of video, when I'm plying, I ply in this direction to the right. And when I'm spinning, I go to the right. When I'm plying, I go to my left. If you don't do that and you try to do this, ply it, you're going to end up with a twisted mess. I have a long lead on this because when you spin with a bobbin like this, it's kind of challenging to get it going. So I just put my 2 pieces together like that. And I will have my ball over here, and then I'll have the other yarn that I'm using over on my other side. I usually have it in a bowl or something, but I've just got it here on the ground. So I'm going to just let a good twist build up on this. Because if you don't have enough twist on this with a wheel like this, when you go to put it in the orifice here, that first bit, it can just pull it right off and break it. So see, there's one of our first coils. If it's a good quality Polworth and Rambouillet. You know, Rambouillet is one that I like. Shetland, Merino, Cheviot, and Tunis. Tunis is not, yeah, I've had those. I think I'm just a blend kind of person. I like blends. Kind of on these longer stretches, I'm just going to ply it like a regular ply. And I actually think I'm surprised at how well this color goes with it. Thank you, Carolyn. I'm happy with this. So you can make your coils look in any way that you want. You can do them like that. You can do some where you kind of stack them. I think I'd shown you guys that before, where you can go and work it back and forth a little bit. I like to do that. It gives it a nice big bobble. Whoops. We're going to have a situation here. There, the yarn got caught on the tripod. So with this, the other thing that you want to get this going again is you have to remember to kind of gradually, so the twist doesn't build up in the yarn that you're plying with, you have to kind of gradually make sure that you're letting it go and making sure that it's twisting, because you could actually work yourself into a big twisty mess if you don't. That's why it's kind of nice to just do a regular ply in between some of these. This one I think needs to be a stack. Oop. I had some blue fiber floating around. And it really wants to be a part of this. But you could see how this kind of unwinds. So that's why you want to, when you're doing the big pieces of your thick and thin, you want to put a little bit of that extra coil in, or a little extra twist into it. So I don't know. I'm not a very technical spinner, like names people call it. I just call this a, I don't know what I call it. Thick and thin. What? That blue? It's really fly away. Wants to hitch a ride on this yarn. Shells, I guess. I wouldn't really, yeah, coils. It's coils, I guess. I think that's a better name for it. It's not like beehives. Beehives are something that I learned how to do when I did take a JC Boggs class one time, and those were different. I mean, it's similar to this, but the way I do this is much more looser. Look at that. That's just, isn't that pretty? That is basically the bamboo, most of the bamboo showing. But see, it does have some kinks in it, but that's not really a problem because once I pull this off on the Nitty Knotty, it is going to steam out really good. I'll steam it later tonight. After this, I have to go to the grocery store. Tuesdays seem to be my grocery store day. Oh, you're teaching a needle fill class. Yeah. Oh, fun, Carolyn. Yeah, coils are fun, Caitlin. It's like, I don't know. It's fun. For me, it's fun. I think because I don't really, when I'm spinning, I'm a spinner who just spins to spin. Like, I don't spin with projects in mind. The only time I honestly spun with a project in mind is when I did my cardigan. So when I did my cardigan, I spun specifically with that in mind. But otherwise, I spin kind of just to spin. Oh my gosh. I'm not a big fan of the grocery stores either. I don't like to go. It's only certain things that I try to pick up. Like I need milk I need milk for myself, but I've been trying to give up sugar, right? And so finding a milk that does not have sugar in it is almost close to impossible. There's one store, Fred Meyer, that carries a milk and with no sugar. It's carb masters. It's like they consider it a keto milk and basically tastes like a non-fat regular milk. So it's pretty good, but it's expensive. I don't steam on the Nitty Knotty, but you can. The reason that I don't is because my Nitty Knotty is wood. Now, I don't think I don't think it would ruin it in any way. If I had a Nitty Knotty that was made out of the PVC pipe, like the white stuff, then I would probably do that. But what I do is I hang it on. I'll just put it on a hanger. So I'll hang the yarn over on a hanger and then hook this on my shower and then put another hanger on the bottom to kind of weight it down. And that's how I do it. I don't use this hanger, but I use just plastic ones, white plastics. Your goal is to throw away too much stuff in the grocery cart, make my husband roll signs and make him offer to do all the grocery store trips. Okay, that's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea. I can tell you the only reason that I like to go to the grocery store is because I have to pass the thrift store to get there. And if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know how passionate I am about thrift stores. So that's kind of like, oh, I'll tell my son, yeah, I got to go to the grocery store today. He's like, well, what do you need? And I'm like, milk. I need my no sugar milk. And he's like, sure, Mom. See you in a couple hours. And I'm like, well, I mean, if that's how it happens, that's how it happens. The reason that I steam instead of soaking, Caitlin, is because the art yarns are a bit more delicate. You can soak them. Okay, so if I steam them, honestly, it's faster and easier. if you steam them, they will not, I'll do a little demo of how I steam. Maybe I'll do it with this one later on of how I steam it. But it steams, it'll catch just enough moisture or water on it, but not too much. Now, if I soak it, I would have to kind of squeeze some of the water out, or I would have to put it in between towels and like roll it a little bit or push it to get that water out. But if I steam it, I can steam it. I can watch how it just kind of, it'll just, with this bamboo, what it's probably going to do when the steam hits it, it's going to shrink it up a little bit. And it's going to make these coils look so much more defined. So that's why. So it's just a preference. It's just easier for me. And that's with art yarns. If I'm steaming, or not steaming, if I am doing just a regular single ply or whatever, like how I did this I just soaked. This I soaked in some hot water, let it, get nice, set it relaxed in there. And then I use poured the water out through the what do you want to call it? Strainer. I have this metal strainer basket thingy that I use. And I have a Panda spinner that is used for, that I use. So sorry, hold on. This ball keeps wanting to get caught in the bottom of the tripod. But I have a Panda, what do you want to call it? Spin dryer. And so I have it for my dyed roving. And so after I dyed the roving, I rinse it. That's my process. I'll rinse it. And then I put it in the Panda steamer. So if I'm doing a regular yarn, I will put it through the Panda spinner. And then from there, I'll just hang it out to dry. I'm not happy with how that looks. I'm going to go over it. And I just have not been able to dry anything outside because the weather here in Oregon has been so wonky. Yeah, the Panda spinners are really, really cool. I bought it because I used to just use my regular washer. And but during COVID, our washing machine died and the dryer was on its way out too. So we had to buy a new pair. And when I did that, I decided that I wasn't going to use a new washer just on the spin cycle. Besides, I couldn't figure out how to do it with that. But yeah, so I just got the Panda spinner. I don't know. I think it was like maybe $100 or something. Maybe $150. I'm not sure. But yeah, I have more than got my money out of it. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I have it right where it's not very big either. You'd be surprised at how much water it will spin out of the fiber or the wool. Oh, how fun. In a class that you took. Yeah, they're a good idea. I think that I had ordered it online and it was just delivered. UPS brought it to me. So that was nice. I had looked at some other ones like the portable washing units that people use for camping, but those just didn't. I saw other indie dyers and different groups who were talking about the Panda, and I think there's another brand. I don't know what it is. They were kind of, raving about how good it was. So I would say for sure. The only thing is that when I will spin out 2 pounds of fiber at a time in there. And sometimes if it's not loaded in there right, then it'll be off balance. So I have to go in there, kind of move the fiber, stick my arm in there, move it around to balance it out. It's really good for spinning out locks. If you guys like to dye locks or fleece or anything, super good for spinning that out. If you guys are on TikTok, if you would like to go follow me, I'm almost at 1,000 followers, which is awesome because then I think I can do lives on TikTok after 1,000. And so anyhow, I've got some videos on there of some fleece that I dyed and spun out. You use a salad drainer to get the water out. Yes, I did that, Carolyn. In the very beginning when I first started, I had bought a salad, or they call a salad spinner, where it has like the hand crank on it. I had used that in the beginning too, and that worked just great. Well, thanks for joining me, you guys. I always sometimes wonder if this time of day is good for everyone or what works. But again, it's always available for replay. I try to check comments afterwards to see if I miss any, but Facebook is kind of wonky with messaging. You know, like if there's a comment on one of your posts, we don't always, if with a business page, we don't always get that. What happens is we go to open up that message and then it opens up in what's called Business Suite. And then they have these different folders, like hidden folders. And there's like a spam and an unread and an important. And you have to really go through. Look at that one. That one's so pretty. You have to kind of go through and really search for it. Is it perfect time for you at lunch? Yeah, Kim, that's kind of what I thought. In reality, it's perfect for me because with my morning routine, I'll have to post a picture of my puppies on this page so you guys can see it. But I get up, take care of the pups, make sure feed the animals, which by animals, I don't have farm animals. I just have dogs. And take care of that, get the coffee going, get through my emails, blah, 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 blah. So usually by noon is like, okay, I'm ready to start my day. Unless it's something different that I have to start my day, meaning something that I want to do. Karen, this is the Ashford Country Spinner. So it is a big wheel. It was designed for creating bulky yarns, art yarns. However, I will say that you can also spin regular yarns on it as well. It doesn't have to be big bulky yarns. You can spin regular sized singles. You can ply on it. Only word of warning on that is that it's a bit heavier. So the bobbin's heavier. So when you are treadling, it's a bit more work. So what I had done was this was one of my first wheel was used. So I had like a Ashford traditional and stuff. So then, but my first new wheel that I bought was this one. And I've had this one for probably maybe 12 or 13 years. And I love it. And I bought it because I wanted to do art yarns. But I recently, last year sometime, I decided to become an Ashford dealer because Ashford was, over all the wheels I've had over time, were my favorite. You know what, Kim? I think that it does come with the orifice reducer because this orifice is like, it's big. It's over an inch, but I believe that there is one that you can pop in there. And so that would make a difference. I'm sure. Whoops. With that. But yeah, so after I became a dealer, then I bought the Kiwi. I bought the Kiwi double treadle because you can sit on that little Kiwi double treadle and I can spin without any leg cramps after a while. But this is good exercise for your calves. But it all depends. If you could only buy, I don't know. It was the wheel for me because of the art yarn that I wanted to do. You would like to, but you don't have the space. You have the electric spinner. Oh, okay. So electric spinners, Caitlin, those are awesome too. I have what are those? The Dreamy Robot ones? What are those little e-spinners? I've backed him in all of his fundraiser thingies. So I have those. Electric Eel Wheel or whatever it's called. I have those. I have the electric Ashford Jumbo Spinner. And I had one and I sold it. And then I decided that I wanted another one. So I bought another one. So I have that one. And in all honesty, I haven't even opened the box yet. But I want to do that. And I want to buy the regular Ashford e-spinner. But of course, my want list is bigger than my wallet. So we'll see. This is getting kinked up. Which spinner do you have? Oh, the Nano. Yeah, that's what it's called. You got the EW6, and I love it. Oh, see, that's awesome. I thought about buying one of those too. I had their, I don't know if it was considered the electric eel wheel, the 5 or what, but it was the big one, not bigger. It wasn't the big one. So it wasn't the mini, but it's comparable to the 6 that you have. And, but it was a wood one. So it was, I don't know how many years ago. But the motor, I think the motor went out on that one. Thank you, Carolyn. You too. Yeah, I think I've been on a little longer than I meant to. But anyhow, well, and you know what? We're almost done. So if you say you can do, oh, your cat hit the wow button. That's awesome. Oh, good. You could do like 6 ounces. Yeah, that's good. I've picked up more fiber. Yeah, those are nice. When I had mine, I could sit on my bed and I would like do like a little lap tray and put the spinner there, and I would sit on my bed and spin. But it's nice that it's portable too. You could take it anywhere. So, okay, guess what? We're at the end of the rope. We are at the end of it. So just about an hour flat, we were able to spin. This bat was 4.6 ounces. So I was able to spin 4.6 ounces in a thick and thin, and was able to ply it and turn it into some coils. So that's awesome. You're welcome, Mary. Okay, well, I've probably talked long enough and kept everybody on long enough. So I will let you go, as I need to go to the grocery store as well too. But I'll pull this off and I'll steam it either tonight or tomorrow, and I'll do a video or something of it, so you can see how that works. And then I need to get everybody's orders out today too. So I will see you guys all next Tuesday. And if you have any other questions, send me a message. But I hope you all have a great day.